So, yeah, I've been gone for a while. Probably wondering where I've been. Well, I spent 10 years in the joint and it made me a fucking pussy. Apparently trying to perform Yakuza heat actions counts as assault and attempted murder. I was just trying to imitate my new favorite protagonist, John Yakuza. I mean Kazuma Kiryu from the Yakuza series. So what have I been doing ever since I got out? Well, yeah, that. What you see here is 232 hours of blood, sweat, and tears. The Yakuza series is probably my favorite series that I have ever played. I mean, can you find me another series where you can slam some poor bastard's head into a car, then kick said car door? Can you find me a series where I can roleplay as a real estate manager and a cabaret club owner?
I think not!
I had only found out about the Yakuza series from a friend of mine when he came over to my place and showed me the first Kuze boss fight in Yakuza 0. Gave me the controller, told me nothing about what I should do, and just let me go, and I had a blast getting destroyed by Kuze. So when the game was on sale, I decided to buy and play Yakuza 0, and now I've played pretty much every Yakuza game, including the 2 spin-offs. If you want my totally correct and only right rankings, they're all really good, except Yakuza 3. It's just this the entire game.
Why won't you die? Whoa, back it up.
But I'm getting off topic. Let's get back to the main point of this video, which is showing you my experience in attempting and succeeding in getting 100% in Yakuza 0. Hope you all enjoy, and remember, real Yakuzas use a gamepad. The first thing I needed to do was to complete the rest of the sub-stories I was missing. I had already done 38 out of 40 for Majima and 54 out of 60 for Kiryu, while playing through Legend difficulty. Unfortunately, Majima's remaining 2 sub-stories required participating in several rounds of the Cabaret Club minigame, as I needed to complete 2 of the Platinum Girls training sessions all the way through, both only being on their first training session. So I had a lot of dialogue to get through, plus doing a bit of karaoke and pool on the side. For Kiryu, I had to get introduced to Shinji, beat him, save him from some thugs, get a girl a pizza when she actually meant a visa, beat her boss, then love, and pray to God I get the right calls from the telephone club to get the remaining sub-stories I needed, being the Predator's Call,
Nani?
Sakura Shock.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Verbal Warning.
No, so much nope.
And Innocent Hookup.
Not tomorrow. Today.
Once both characters completed their final sub-stories, they get a strange message on their pages asking them to go to the bullfighting arena in the middle of nowhere. Once you get there, they meet strange men called So and Joamon respectively for both characters. They challenge each other to a fight. For Majima, Joamon was just using Kiryu's Dragon of Dojima style and was very dodge heavy.
Slide to the left, slide to the left, slide to the right, crisscross.
So what did I do? Did I treat them to a fair fight? Of course not. I spammed healing items, any weapon heat action I had, and shot him with the stock of smoke guns I had. Seriously, where do they keep these weapons? Once he had 5 health bars left, he swapped to Majima's Mad Dog of Shimano style, which dealt massive amounts of damage if caught off guard.
No, that's a lot of damage.
I died several times during this fight. So I went back to Sotenbori and indulged in a certain side activity to obtain overpowered weapons, armor, and medicinal drinks to increase the chance of me beating Joamon. Took me a while, but I eventually beat him.
Get ready for the next battle.
for me! Oh, that's a lot of damage!
And then I forgot to save after the fight. Well, just believe me when I say I had to beat him again. And for Kiryu, it was nothing like Joemon. This man had a cannon that stunned you if you're hit, a laser in that cannon, and once you get him down to 5 health bars, he ditches the cannon for you. In return, he summons a helicopter to start throwing random chairs and tables onto the floor and pushing them around hoping they hit Kiryu. You can use this to your advantage though and use the tables and chairs as weapons, which can be useful in beast mode. It took me around 20 minutes to eventually beat Joemon, including the refight. Soemon took a lot less time, but was definitely a much harder fight. Eventually, both are beaten, and I get the achievement for beating both Amons, plus completing all sub-stories. But that's just the least annoying achievement out of the way.
お前の金は俺のものだ、邪魔だ。
By the time I had decided I wanted to make this video, I had a good majority of the upgrades in each of the characters' styles. For most of them, I was up to their most expensive upgrade. Didn't help that Kiryu's upgrades were so much more expensive than Majima's, costing up to 1 billion yen just to upgrade one skill. With the cabaret and real estate side business giving money every couple of minutes, I think it was time that I fought the money magnet himself, the biggest, the meanest, the boldest man in all of Japan, the several Mr. Shakedowns, when only one of them is bold. A man with gorilla strength and a taste for money. Every time you beat Shakedown, you get a boatload of cash. The easiest strategy I found farming Shakedowns was to find him in the streets, lose to him with a lot of money on you, find him again, beat him and gain what you lost, plus what he had, plus an extra 15% of the entire amount he had, plus whatever money you get when you hit him.
We're rich! We're rich! We're rich!
Repeat that and you will eventually unlock every single upgrade. It was a flawless strategy. I mean a somewhat flawless strategy. It only took me an hour or so. Final upgrades purchased. Climax battles are battles that are outside of the main game. They consist of somewhat difficult challenges, and there are 3 different categories, with a 4th being unlocked after beating all of them. Proving Grounds, which consists of challenges with specific requirements to complete it. For example, Proving Ground 6 puts you on the dance floor with the Arishi brothers, the ones where Majima got his breaker style. To complete this challenge, you need to get 30 million yen in a certain amount of time. Every time you hit one of the brothers, you get money. The more heat you have, the more money you'll get. But if you get hit, you'll lose heat, which means you'll lose the multiplier. This one took me ages, as most times, when the brothers were knocked down, they'd do a wake-up spin and would be able to knock me down if I didn't move away. Plus, you could get hit by all 3 brothers if caught in the wrong place, and was one of the last ones I needed to complete. Melee battles, essentially less painful Proving Grounds, restricted to one style and have a certain time limit to defeat all enemies. No struggles there. Standout ones include 7 and 8, where you completely ignore the enemies and find a weapon that can delete a horde in 10 seconds. Millionaire battles. Beat Mr. Shakedown. Easy enough. But all you have are your styles. No weapons, no armor, no accessories. Battle 2 gave me the most trouble, being you are put in the most cramped alleyway they could have possibly put you in. In return, they provide a bunch of trash cans that can be used for heated actions to easily knock Mr. Shakedown down. And finally, the ultimate battles. Basically fighting the bosses of the games, but you can fight bosses that only one character has fought. For example, in Ultimate Battle 6, you fight Nishiki as Kiryu. In Ultimate Battle 4, you fight every Kuze fighter as Majima. Battle 2 Sarah was a difficult fight as he had unbelievable super armor and barely flinched when attacked. If you lost, it was back to fighting Lee and Michitani. At least they got caught in a breaker combo. Not Sarah though, he doesn't even get fully stun locked from the bat nunchucks move, and armors through it, hitting you to the ground. Other than that, climax battles were pretty trivial. Another achievement done.
What you got there?
It's a smoothie.
Finally, onto the completion list. You thought the last achievements were hard? This thing made me dread this challenge the most. It forced me to learn games I had never heard of, master some of Sega's oldest arcade games, and many more. This section will be split into the 5 sections that the completion goals are split into: Adventure, Battle, Sub-stories, and Minigames. So let's speedrun through the smaller ones. We'll get to the bigger one, trust me. For Adventure, I needed to buy from the Dream Machine 50 times, I needed to collect 90 telephone cards split between Majima and Kiryu, I needed to finish Vincent's menu, and I needed to watch 30 different videos. If you know, you know. For Battle, I needed to defeat 200 enemies as Dragon of Dojima and Mad Dog of Shimano, I needed to win 50 Coliseum tournaments, I needed to beat Mr. Shakedown 10 times as both Majima and Kiryu, needed to obtain 100 different weapons collected from Majima's side hustle. For Business, which was primarily for Majima, I needed to finish Mana's story and Chica's story. For the sub-stories, I needed to befriend both Moneybags' and Libido's for both characters. There were a few random achievements I went for before starting the grind, which was the minigame section of the completion list. These include Eye of the Dragon and Tiger, obtain all equipment parts, Prize Fighter, defeat 30 or more opponents in Endless Road, and the Cat Scratch Fever, win 10 bets on 3-round tournaments at the JCC, which was the most annoying achievement to get. Now here comes the real fun part of the completion list. This was the section I needed the most completion goals for, but coincidentally it was also the hardest, which didn't help. Most of these were the gambling minigames, meaning I needed to learn how to play most of these. The game doesn't exactly explain how to win at Mahjong. God bless the people who make guides for this stuff. I would have no clue if these did not exist. I'll start off with the easy, and then get into the harder ones. Starting off with fishing. I had barely done any fishing during my playthrough, so I had a lot of fish to catch. Starting with the saltwater fish, which were primarily at the dock of Kamurocho. The ones that I needed were the scorpion fish, tiger prawn, octopus,
Hey, watch where you're swinging that. SpongeBob, be careful with... Yosha!
flounder, spider crab,
Yosha!
sea bream, great white,
That's a huge bitch! Yosha!
marlin, and the oarfish. For freshwater, which was the north and south side of the bridge in Sotenbori, I needed sweetfish, snakehead, eel, ito, and the hardest one to catch, the ghost carp. So fishing's done. Let's go through the arcade games. I needed to get 5 million points in Outrun, Space Harrier, and Super Hang-On, while I also needed to get 100,000 points in Fantasy Zone. For Outrun, I found going left twice, then right, was the easiest course to get to 5 million points. It did take me a long time, but taking any sort of turn slowly made it much easier and lessened the chance of crashing, which loses time, which was the case for the games that required driving and steering. For Super Hang-On, only lightly pressing the joystick to turn made it much easier to control the turning speed. Not much there. For Space Harrier, fiddling around in the controller settings and enabling turbo mode made this game and Fantasy Zone much easier. All I had to do was focus on dodging the weird polygon towers. The hardest arcade was Fantasy Zone, as apparently from what I've seen online, the PC port actually nerfed the auto attack speed. It's not the same speed as the PS4 version.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
As mentioned before, fiddling with the controller settings and enabling turbo mode made this game much easier. Buying the big wings instead of the jet engine, at least for me, made it much easier to dodge projectiles and enemies. All arcades are beaten. Yes! That's all of them done. Now we move on to the gambling minigames, which include poker, blackjack, baccarat, roulette, chohan, choli, koi-koi, uchikubu, pool, batting, darts, and last but not least, mahjong. Again, I gotta thank the people who made guides, because I had no idea how to play a majority of these games. Each game had their own strategy to win or way around the AI. Here is my brief explanation of all of them. For poker, praying to have the better hand than the AI and raising until you eventually win. Blackjack, be as close to 21 as you can and not go over. Baccarat, guessing if the player or banker wins. Most of the time, it's the banker. Roulette, hoping the ball lands on the number or colour you put your money on. Putting it on either of the green spaces guarantees the money needed. Chohan is guessing if the addition of the two hidden dice will be odd or even. After a few rounds, the banker will challenge you to multiply your winnings. You can actually see the number on the dice before the banker rolls them. Chilo is where you roll up to 3 dice, hoping you get the highest score out of everyone.
Hey, you.
手加減しないぞ。次頑張り。もっと気張らんとあかんよ。おい。4倍。6だ。悔しいわよ。どうした？予言したと
？This one still confuses me. Koi Koi is gaining points by gaining pairs from your hand and what's on the table. If you have a specific combination of cards, you get points, but you can back out of ending the round to gain more points or lose trying. Ochikubu is similar to blackjack, but instead you have to be as close to 9 as possible. If you go over 10, your number will be the last digit. For example, if you get 15, your score will be 5. No strategy here. In addition to getting 10 million for pool, I also need to get 3 Karam shots and 3 combination shots. The harder of which is Karam shots, where you need to hit 2 balls into 2 different holes with your cue ball. The easiest way I found to get Karam shots was to line up 2 balls near the edge of the table, get a foul, put the cue ball in the middle far enough to be able to hit the center bottom of the cue, and hope when it hits the first ball, it rolls back and hits the second one. Then for combination shots, I needed to use another ball to hit a ball into the hole. Easy enough. For the 10 million, you need to complete pool puzzles which require you to hit a ball into the hole with a certain amount of turns without hitting any black balls. I used a guide for this. Batting. Doing the most expensive course and using the mouse instead of a controller and stopping when you reach the 6 million mark, which means you'll make 1 million profit. Do that 5 times and you'll eventually get the 5 mil needed. For darts, I needed to get 10 hat tricks, which is 3 bullseyes in 1 turn, and I needed to get 10 million from challenging NPCs. Using the mouse and the best set of darts made this much easier. And last but certainly not least, the game that slows completion goal acquisition to a halt. Mahjong. Every Yakuza completionist's worst nightmare. Oh boy, do I have a lot to say about this one singular minigame. First off, no cheat items, which made the grind much worse. Second off, this one minigame accounts for 6 completion goals, while the other casino games only had like 1. Third off, Yakuza 0 doesn't exactly explain how to play Mahjong. I had to use a guide on Steam to understand the mere basics of it. For those who don't know, the best strategy for Mahjong is to quit. Just kidding. The tiles used in Mahjong are split into 5 different types. 3 suits, bamboo sticks, dots and numbers, winds, which are basically directions, and dragons. To win at Mahjong, you need to get either 3 triplets or sequences, or a mix of both plus a double. You discard a tile in your hand and gain a new one every time it's your turn. Sounds easy enough, right? Nope. The game, as usual, is based on luck. Hoping you get the right tile, hoping the AI doesn't win before you do.
What the fuck? We just started!
Hoping they discard the tile you need to finish your hand. That's just to go out, by the way, which essentially means to win, and you need to do that 10 times. There are other completion goals that require you to get specific outcomes that could take you hours to get just one of them. One of them is Richi Ipatsu, which is where you call a Richi, basically announcing you are 1 tile off from winning if you haven't been stealing from other people, and if any of the AI put down or you draw the tile you need, you instantly win. The Ipatsu part is where you win before your next turn after you call Richi, which was pretty difficult to get as most times the AI didn't discard the right tile before my next turn. Mangan and Hangman fit into the same acquisition method. If you or the AI win, the more specific combos you achieve with your hand, the more Han, which is essentially points, you get. For example, if you win after you call Richi, you get 1 Han. If you also get a Patsu, you get another Han. For Mangan, you need to get at least 5 Han, and you need to get Mangan 5 times. Hangman, on the other hand, is 6 to 7. The great thing about it is, if you get Hangman, you also get Mangan. The final combination specific completion goal is getting a full straight, which, as you can probably guess, means you need to get a full sequence on 1 to 9, and you cannot use different suits. It has to be from the same suit, even though the in-game manual shows that you can use different suits. I was in a voice call with a mate of mine, Chicken Adams if you want to check him out. My voice wasn't recorded, but you can tell from my mate's reaction that I was very happy after getting a full straight after several hours of close attempts.
It feels like a... Do it. Do it. We did it!
Final completion goal. 10 million from Mahjong. Simple enough. play at the higher rates table, leave if you go below the starting 2500, and hope you are blessed by the RNG gods that you don't lose after winning with a hefty amount of points. This might be the final stretch. Might have gotten it. $10 million, 100% completion. Yes! Ah, fucking finally! And finally, the completion list was completed. That's it, right? That was the last achievement left to get, right? No more, right? As if it was that easy. I was missing one achievement, and of course it was a hidden achievement. I scoured the internet, checking what hidden achievements I have and which one I was missing. The one I was missing was Best Served Cold, where I needed to wait 15 minutes for takoyaki to get cold in Chapter 6. So I started a new game on a previously upgraded save and sped run the game up until Chapter 6 and got the takoyaki. Now all I needed to do was waste 15 minutes of my time. So I finished this grind the only way I know how. Let's go! 100% 24-hour Cinderella! %. Woo! Karaoke Dragon! Let's go! Let's go! Where's the freaking takoyaki thingy done? There we go! Holy shit! There it is! There it is, that beautiful blue ribbon. Finally, after hours and hours of playing this godforsaken game, I can say it was all worth it. After every Yakuza game is completed, I will put together a tier list of the games that I found the hardest to 100%. Right now, Yakuza 0 is at the top. Games will be moved around as I fully complete more. Having no cheat items makes this a no-brainer, and you actually have to rely on RNG to get what you need. Most of the time taking hours of attempts just to be denied by RNG on the AI side. With all that said, I can finally go touch some grass. Oh, son of a...